Hey guys, Mario here. So, I want to take today and I want to talk to the gays. I love my straight people, I love my trans people, I love everybody, but I want to talk specifically to the gays today. So if you're gay or you're not gay, you could probably tune out, but it's going to be some pretty interesting information and probably some stuff that you probably didn't know about. First and foremost, I want to talk about this whole idea of what have you done for me lately. Everyone's got that idea. What have you ever done for me? What have you ever done for me? Well, look, I volunteer. I do. I really do spend my time trying to volunteer with both right and left leaning organizations simply because it's important to just be part of your community, period. Well, when they look at our president and they say, well, what have you done for me lately? I look at them and I say, well, he's first and foremost way in the back. He was for gay marriage. He gave same-sex benefits to couples in 1992, and more recently, he has doubled the funding for HIV and AIDS funding here in America. Well, then they turn around, the left turns around and says, oh, well, no, that's not really true because he took money from somewhere else. And you're right, he did. He took it from Africa. And we've discussed this, and I discussed why it's better that we take that money that we're going to be spending on Africa here in the United States. I also want to remind people that he's also appointed a gay judge. Peter, I think his name is Peter Budame. He's Filipino and he's gay. He appointed Richard Grenell to the highest position of the national security that we have. 50 years ago, that would have been unheard of. If you were gay, you couldn't apply for the CIA or the NSA or any of these other things. Obviously, the NSA is newer, but the whole point is you couldn't apply for a spy agency if you were homosexual. So he's done a lot of things and broken a lot of barriers for homosexuals because he doesn't care about their sexuality. And the reason I wore the shirt that I'm wearing is there's a reason, is because I really want to talk to the gays about some of their habits. They tend to really enjoy sex, and I get it. There's this idea of self-expression. You go out there and you do your thing, and they like to party. I get it. You're dinks. We called that's what my brother-in-law called me that. He's like, you're dink, and I was like, what? What do you mean? Dual income, no kids. Exactly. You are dual income, no kids. So you have this money to spend, so you spend it on yourself, and you have a good time. I get it. But when you start doing things like having, parties in the middle of coronavirus outbreaks, and someone did. There was a party in Miami that thousands and thousands of LGBT went to, and many of them came down with the coronavirus. And even taking that incident out of the picture, you look at the coronavirus statistics as a whole. I look at them in Los Angeles because I live in Los Angeles. And of all the cases in Los Angeles, and you can look this up yourself, the district or the area or the city, whatever you want to call it, that has the highest level of infection of coronavirus is West Hollywood. And that is Boys Town. And this is a cultural problem. And this is where I like to tell people, hey, we need to start looking at our own culture. LGBT aren't exactly, I don't want to say we're all terrible role models, and we're not all great role models. We're regular people just like you. We make mistakes, we stumble, we fall to our desires every once in a while. But for the most part, we try to live good lives. And those ones who try to live good, decent lives get a bad rap from the ones that are out there partying and out there doing things and increasing the statistics. And that's really what I want to talk. That's the demographic I wish I could talk to and tell them, look at this. You're literally feeding a stereotype. When I talk to groypers, and groypers will tell me that LGBT have the highest rate of AIDS, and I look at them and I go, yeah, that's a fact. I know that. And there's these facts that I cannot deny, but they throw me in with those facts, and I am not one of those statistics. I try my best to not be a stereotype, to not be a statistic. I like being an outlier. And even in my own state of California, they're trying to normalize this idea of what I call debauchery. And this is, I think, is a greater sin than anything else, is being debaucherous, is going out there and being flippant with your gay, not even just your gay, that's a terrible way to say it, but being flippant with your sexuality. It doesn't have to be a gay person. It can be a straight person. It can be that girl who's out there being a thought. And there are consequences to what you do. And with gays, it tends to be more of a disease type of a consequence. HIV, and they turn around and they say, oh, I can take a pill and it solves it. That's the attitude that we need to start breaking within our community, because here in California, they're already trying to remove LGBT persons from the sex offender registry. They're trying to say, well, you know, if you're gay and you happen to be convicted of sleeping with an underage person, you don't have to register as a sex offender. I'm sorry. If a 22-year-old is sleeping with a 15-year-old, I don't care if it's male or female, they need to be registered as a sex offender. That is not appropriate. That is not an appropriate relationship. So I really, really, really need to have a conversation with this particular community, and that's what this video is for. And I hope some of you hear this. I hope some of you maybe wake up, maybe kind of say, you know, maybe it's time for me to find something a little more fulfilling than Grindr or Growler or something that just fills that moment, because that's how we're spreading coronavirus. That's how we're spreading HIV. That's how we're spreading the prejudices that keep all of us tied down. And you think that Richard Grinnell and Peter Buttigieg and these other successful LGBT people are out there trying to hoe it up while they're serving our country? I don't think so. They're focused on their job and they're focused on their family. And you're filling something with nothing, and you're never going to succeed at that. I've learned that, and I don't even want to get spiritual about it, because many LGBT aren't spiritual. If you choose to go to spirituality, go to spirituality. But the truth is you will never find fulfillment in an app. I love you all. I will talk to you guys later.